Are we going? Oh, yeah. All right. So, hey, we're back for another Facebook Live, and I've got some folks joining me that we're going to be excited to hear from today. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves first.
Snooki.
I'm Forrest.
I'm Sarah.
All part of the Outdoor Access family, and at some point, if you've ever dealt with us from a customer service perspective or as a landowner, you probably had interaction with one or more of us. So thank you for joining us today. And with Father's Day just a couple of weeks away, we are excited to tell some stories and share some stories about the men in our lives that helped us introduce us to the outdoors, whether it was hunting, fishing, or both, and how we in turn are also taking the responsibility to pass that along to other generations. So I'm going to start with Miss Snooki and have her tell her story about how did you get started with fishing?
So, growing up, Mom and Dad put me on a rod and reel, a little Mickey rod. We would go to local ponds, and then my papa saw how I was really
Now,
excited
Papa is your
about
grandfather,
it.
right?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
my mom's dad.
Okay.
So, he would take me fishing and try to advance me little by little. And then when he passed, I kind of got a little dark, didn't know what to do. Was really upset that I had lost him. So Bruce picked up, and he has been amazing. He teaches me. We go places and do things, and then, having that just extra love in my life to continue my passion for the outdoors has also grown me to learn to do that in the industry. So,
Right.
We take kids fishing. If I'm at a pond, I'll hand out some baits, some extra stuff that I have, and just kind of pass that along and keep the generations going in the industry.
Well, you've been amazing with my kids. I mean, my kids think of you as you're better than Santa Claus. You're
Yeah.
you're always giving them stuff to get out fishing with. So yeah, no, I hear you. So do you have some of your best memories with your papa? Was that time spent out on the water or time out spent fishing?
Yeah, because when you're out on the water, you talk about everything in the moon. We've talked about religion, politics, things my mom did growing up that she probably did not want me to know.
Look out, Will.
Just fun stuff. You're relaxed. It's a different world when you're in the outdoors. So I think my favorite memory and something that I wish I could in a way change is just breaking off that big fish that I told you about the one time.
Right.
For football. So but that's okay.
Well, hey, but that was a gift. That was a gift that he gave you and that you'll always have.
Yeah.
And I think that's really the most important thing is that opportunity to take somebody out and introduce them to the woods is really something that's a gift that can keep on giving and that person can then in turn hand off again. So tell us about your situation, Sarah. Did you grow up hunting and fishing?
I did. While she was actually telling her story, I was thinking there hasn't been a time where it wasn't like an option. I grew up, my grandparents have a farm, and so we grew up. When I was 2 months old, my brother caught a state record bluegill, for instance, on a cane pole in cricket on the pond next to their house.
Yep.
And it's just been natural as part of how it was. Just fundamentally, the outdoors are a big part of our family.
Yeah.
From weekends with the grandparents, with fishing, with hunting. There hasn't been a time when wild turkey wasn't part of our meal on the table,
right,
and something in the freezer. And from that point to even summer vacations with my dad, he's a forester by trade, loves the outdoors. It's his job and his hobby. So we would go to North Carolina and go hiking and go fishing and go, just playing in the creeks. And I was probably the only kid that knew the Latin names of most of the trees on 95 on the way up to Florida.
Lucky you.
Yeah, knew the difference between the however many different types of pine trees and could identify them. And they instilled in me the importance of the outdoors and nature and how it serves its purpose.
See, so I'll just, before we jump to yours in a second, I'll just chime in because my upbringing couldn't have been any different. I grew up in Los Angeles. That's a totally different kind of wilderness that has nothing to do with trees and bears and things going by. But, and my dad, the one story I can tell is growing up, my brother and I would constantly be saying, well, let's go camping, because camping for us was literally having a tent out on the back porch of our house on the cement. It was but that was our outdoors, and when we'd have to go inside, just go through the sliding glass door and use the restroom. But so we begged my dad to take us camping, right? And so he goes, fine. And he pulls up in this RV that was like a city block long with 3 bathrooms, 4 televisions, all that stuff. And so we went camping. and we drove to this parking lot that was right next to this stream. My dad never left the RV.
Oh.
We ended up, I think, getting poison ivy or something because we had no idea what we were doing out there. And it was the single time we ever went out and spent any time in the woods together as a family. And so I didn't know what I was missing because I didn't have that as part of my reality growing up. And I say that like with love in my heart that my dad gave me a lot of other great things that he taught me, but woodsmanship or outdoorsmanship was not one of them. So how about you, Forrest? Where did you grow up?
My life has been kind of bespeckled with outdoor experiences, but I never had anybody taking me out, really.
Would you say you had a smattering of outdoor
A
experience?
smattering, yeah, a bespeckled life of the outdoors. My grandfather was a really big fisherman. When he died, there's probably like 50 reels at my house that are all his, and he did a lot of ocean fishing, and he got my brother into it a little bit. When he was young, he caught a sand shark at the beach, and I was inside with a broken leg. But yeah, and then I was in the Scouts at a young age, so we would do some camping through that. What else? Backyard camping as well.
See, we even did backyard camping.
Yeah, sure.
It was just an excuse
our
to
backyard.
do something different,
Exactly.
be outside. Always loved hiking. At my uncle's house, he lives on a lake, we would do kayaking. So it was like, I never got super concentrated into anything, but it was always like something I really enjoyed. And I used to live in Pennsylvania, and behind our house was just woods and like a mountain. And I would just go into the woods with my dog, and it was just fun to be alone in this like weird life. Like there was, like the environment was much different than like my basement, and it was always something I was very attached to, especially since my name is Forrest. I felt like I kind of had an affinity for it.
Yeah, we
And
have
the last name of Branch.
We have a buck, a branch,
Yeah.
and a forest, and a snooky, which kind of sounds like some kind of wild animal or something.
A snook is a fish.
A snook is a fish. That's right. So, but now, very recently, you and your dad went out and did something fun to.
Right, yeah. I mean, since I've started working here, when I was younger, like skateboarding became cool, and then girls became cool, and so girls are so cool. And just the outdoors became something that was like part of your childhood,
Right.
and you get a little away from it. And as I get older, and since I've been working here, it's just been brought back into the forefront of my mind. And I went hunting 2 years ago with Buck for the first time, which I mean was a lot of fun. We didn't see anything, we didn't get anything, but it was really cool to watch the sun come up outside and just like feel the air and feel like the day starting when normally you'd be in bed asleep. And then, through the influence of working here, I was like, I want to try fly fishing. My roommate fly fishes. I know a lot of people who just like rave and rant about it. And so last Sunday, I went with my dad up to Waynesboro. We did a guided one. And my dad's getting older. He's almost 70. And he's retired. And it's just something good that we can do together. And Father's Day is coming up, and it's my plan to like get him a outdoor access thing, because it's just something to get him out of the house, something to do, something to do together. And it was tons of fun. I mean, it was like, we had waders on, and just being out on the stream and like being able to look down the stream is like a perspective you don't get unless you're like going for it. And like, I mean, you can fly a drone, which I would do. I do a lot of video stuff, but it's not the same as like feeling the water like push along your legs and feeling the coolness, and then like getting a fish. Like, it's super exciting, and it's just a great way to spend your time. And so that's been kind of I'm having a bit of a re-emergence into the outdoor world.
Cool.
And pretty excited about it.
Well, and that's one of the things that I think is really important. One of the things that we had talked about at the beginning is how important it is to then, when you've received this gift, to then realize that that's something very special that you in turn can share with somebody else. And while it's awesome to share it with a kid, whether it's your own kid or a godson or godchild or whatever, somebody that you know, it doesn't have to be a kid. You can take somebody took me for the first time when I was an adult, and that fire, that seed, was still planted, and now I've made it part of not just my life and my vocation, but also pass it on to my kids. So you can start that passion at any point. It doesn't have to just be with a kid. Not that that isn't wonderful if you can do that, but seriously, there are lots and lots of people who have just never had that opportunity. And I just came back from the seminar where we're talking about the R3 initiatives to keep hunting and fishing like vibrant and live. And part of that is saying, hey, if all of us take one person who has never had that exposure before and get them out there and help them to get excited about it, we literally can double the number of hunting licenses, fishing licenses that are being sold to keep this industry alive and well. So Snooki is a perfect example of somebody who is paying it forward in a big way. They're not her kids, but there are lots of kids that are her. She's adopted in a sense, right?
They're my kids.
I was going to say, in every sense other than the bush.
I like it because I feel like the outdoors is a gift that keeps giving. You know, like growing up, my mom never wanted us to go to the store and buy her anything, or my dad. They always wanted us to create something. And when you are in the outdoors, you're creating memories. And my personal belief is you take that to the grave with you.
Yeah.
You know, like that is something that is irreplaceable and it's very special. And it's also calming and it brings other things inside of you that sometimes you didn't know that you had.
Exactly.
That's why I give it to these kids, seeing them catch a fish for the first time. As a tournament angler, sometimes I get really mad and not so ladylike whenever I don't catch what I want or get what I want on the water. So to see the children go out there and catch something that I don't consider special or trophies, but to them it's
Yes.
it's just I don't know. I could
Well, I was
ramble
taking
on
pictures.
about it, but it's amazing. And
I was taking pictures of them. It was funny while they were leaving, and they'd smile and they were happy. They were on a boat. They were good. Coming back, oh my God, it was great because their expressions and they were trying to tell me they couldn't even get fast enough the words out of their mouth of how big the fish was and what they caught, how they did. They were.
But then
just
the
so
excitement
nice.
stops because all of a sudden they have to touch the fish and they're like, what do I do? Like, how do I hold it? Oh my God, it's gonna flick.
Well,
Exactly.
so we have some folks that are writing in. I want to just get to this because this is actually really important. And Kevin writes, I still remember having lunch with my father on those cold days hunting, sitting at a picnic table and just talking and spending time out in the field, memories that last a lifetime. I now share those special moments with my son. Wish Dad was still here to do this now. And that's just it. It's not about the size of the fish you catch or whether you even pull the trigger. It's sometimes just about that experience that you have away from the hustle and bustle and craziness of life where there's so many distractions and it's just the two of you out there and you're able to have that special bond. And I think about how many people, I talk to so many parents who, we're rushing to this soccer game or we're doing this and we're doing that. And they're not really spending quality time together.
They're on their phones while the kids.
And that's it. And the outdoors forces you not to have those distractions, to have that one-on-one time. And that's when real memories are made.
And that's what I think of when you think of the number of the impact it could make on our industry if more people hunt and fish and enjoy the outdoors. And financially, there is, and to our business, there would be a lot of different, but I wonder what the emotional, spiritual, the impact on the person and to each other and that side of it, of how our world would change.
Yep.
It's
That
very
is-
meditative because when you're outside, you're very focused.
Yes.
And there's nothing else in your mind except for calling a turkey or
Yes.
watching for a bite, whatever it is.
You're in
Right
the
there.
moment.
You're in
Right
the
there.
moment.
You're present. You're not thinking
Yes.
about what you have to do later or what happened yesterday. In that moment, you're fully alive. And I think that's what. Hey, we have another one. Bill writes in and says, I didn't start waterfowl hunting until 6 years ago. Me and my youngest son loved waterfowl. I taught both of my boys to hunt, fish, and camp. My oldest is a great shot. Yeah, that's the problem. My son is a much better shot than I am, so I'm kind of like, please don't make that
Standing
look
younger
bad.
than you did. So.
That's true.
Well, and I could say I outshot my granddad and brother once at a young age, so it happens.
Good. Well, hey, listen.
It can
It's
happen.
not about as I try to tell my son every time we go fishing, it's not about the competition, it's about having fun while we're out there together.
I'm sorry.
And he's like, oh, that's great, Dad, I totally agree. How many fish did you catch? So that's right.
Yes.
So one more, we have Kevin also, a different Kevin wrote in and says, Dad took us camping and fishing. He would pull a boat down the river as we fished. We still camp at the same place he always took me. I miss him very much. And that's the thing, is that it also gives us a chance to reconnect to the people who are gone, and to still feel their presence and their impact. Remember how important their impact was on our lives when we're back in that same type of environment.
Exactly.
Right, this is not as emotional.
No.
Emotional. We'll all kind of all do this a little bit. That's fine. It's just a little foggy in here. But no, we really appreciate that. One of the missions that we have as a company is to help more people create just those types of memories in the woods. And for every dad that we have who says, hey, listen, I was reticent to take my kid out because I was just a little bit hesitant on public land. I didn't know what was going to be out there. I didn't know if it was going to be safe. That I had this opportunity to take him to this great, safe piece of private land, met the landowner, great experience. You know, that type of a positive experience is going to get that kid to say, Dad, when can we do that again? Not, gosh, do we have to do that? You know, and that's the difference. And we're really all about being able to have that first experience, again, whether it's with a kid or a brother or a friend or whatever, be a really positive one so that they keep wanting to do that over and over and over again. And you can do it together. That's the really nice thing. It's something you can share. All right, so John T. writes, we went camping almost every year, and a school bus converted into a grain hauler. Awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Obviously, we went off harvest season. We would stovepipe fish at night. So, again, nobody is going to talk about that most awesome time they played a video game, or when they were stuck in traffic. God, that was so cool. Remember when we were stuck for like 3 hours? But they will talk about this incredible experience they had doing something that's relatively mundane, but it's special.
Yes.
Because of the context.
Yep, exactly. It reminded me of whenever Dad and I went duck hunting during the Y2K event thing that was supposed to shut down
When the
whatever.
world was going to stop?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And we're like, we won't even know if it happens or not because we're camping and we had no electronics around us, just couldn't see any lights. I mean, we're like,
Y2K happens when you're in the woods.
exactly. That was our question.
Hey, I'd rather have it happen. We're fully prepared. Yeah. When the zombie apocalypse hits, we're locked and loaded and we're ready to go. We have food, we're good.
Exactly. But I'll always remember that because it's like, as a kid, it made an impact.
But I think one of the things that, going back to Snooki's story, we're talking about in terms of Father's Day, but it's not about a biological thing. It's about somebody playing that role of helping you learn and share and experience that. And Bruce has really been that in your life, right?
Bruce is a big part of my life, and I have so many uncles and brothers that I've adopted in the fishing industry, and Sarah and Forrest could both speak on this. I mean, Forrest met Will at the Cast for Kids, and Sarah was meeting some of the anglers and photographers. And
Bruce is a great guy.
Hey, I'm gonna not shake your hand, I'm gonna hug you, because now we're family.
We're family,
and
right?
That's what it's about. Like, if we can pass it along, like I said, it's the gift that keeps giving, and you take those memories with you. And I really, truly believe that when you take time to go in the outdoors and unplug from technology, you get a sense of, oh, this is what it used to be like.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I should be living for. The stress is gone, the anxiety, you're not worried about your to-do list. You're just like,
is it going to rain? That's like the extent of your worries.
Well, and the other thing is, like, we weren't made to be doing this all day, or even sitting in chairs or cars. I mean, we were made to be part of creation. And in doing that, we reconnect to the most visceral part of who we are as a human being. Be like, oh, okay, I'm alive now. This is what I was meant for. This is where I'm supposed to be. And it's sad, but it's harder and harder to find that. And that's one of the reasons why, again, I keep coming back to it. If you're watching this, and whether you're a dad yourself or a mom, or you're just somebody who is looking to have that type of an experience, listen, one of the things that Snooki just talked about is family. And we talk about it all the time. The Outdoor Axis is, yes, we are a business, but we are a family of folks who love the outdoors and find that it's an important part of who we are and what we need to do to pass along. So if you're looking for folks to be able to help you have those kind of experiences, we have thousands of members who would be happy to go out and teach you and show you what they're doing and to pass on that. It doesn't have to be family. It can be family in this sense.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, we really appreciate that a lot of folks share things. In fact, one of the great stories that I remember coming in from a member was somebody saying, my dad and I grew up hunting, and my dad and I used to go out, and then life happened, right? Like, I got older, I grew up, and I moved away, and my kids are my own, and it's, and we lost that. And then, thanks to the opportunity to go out on one of these properties through Outdoor Access, we got that back again. And for one day, all those years in between just went away. It was like we were right back in that experience again. And it was, so whether it's the first time or it's been a long time since you got out, we hope that you will take advantage of some of the properties that we have available to be able to have just those type of experiences and those kind of memories. And it's not about pulling a trigger or putting something up on a wall. It's about connecting to who you are and who really matters in your life.
Finding your roots.
Finding your roots. Amen. So hey, thank you very much for joining us for another Facebook Live. We're very happy to continue to bring these to you. We also welcome any ideas that you guys have for ideas or other things that we can be doing to help make this more beneficial for you. And then last but not least, wanted to also remember this. If you want to give your father or grandfather a special gift for this Father's Day, guess what? You can gift him an Outdoor Access membership, and we will have a special discount on there. It's now, instead of $99, it's only $49, so it's 50% off. We do need to have your orders in by the 13th. That's a Wednesday, I believe, in order to ensure on-time delivery by Father's Day. But it's a great gift that will give not only a full year's worth of experience out in the woods for that outdoorsman in your life, but it's a great opportunity because of our guest program for you to go out with them and have that be something the whole family enjoys. So yeah, please go to our website. You can see there's a gift account that you can go click on the top of it, and you can take advantage of that special discount. Remember, you gotta have those orders by the 13th if you want to have it there in time, but you cannot have a better gift for Father's Day than the gift of the outdoors.
I'm getting my dad one.
There you go. We've sold one.